What is going on, guys? Huge change as far as live stuff goes and car projects and all that. I last filmed when I had my Gen 1 Speed 3, and I just believe my last video would have been rolling the fenders. It's been about probably a month and a half since then, or so. Since then, I have got a crazy offer for one of my all-time favorite cars, actually a dream car of mine, and I ended up selling the Gen 1. I had a full Speed 6 all-wheel drive conversion I was going to throw in there. I sold that with the car. I sold my daily, my Gen 2 Speed, and I sold another car that I had. So sold all of those and was able to pick up this Evo, which is something I never thought I would have again. I had an Evo 8 back in 2020. I sold it because I'm dumb and I made mistakes. But now I have this Evo 9, which is actually the car that got me into Evos and made it my favorite car. So I'll kind of go into a little bit of a story on why. Kind of go into a little bit of a story as far as how this all worked out. I was just in a Discord call one day with one of my friends. We were playing Forza, and then another friend of mine that owned this car hopped on, just kind of to chat with us, and I was driving an Evo on there at the time, and he just mentioned, he said, you know, if someone brought me $16,000, I would sell my Evo right away. I would just give it to him, like, really. So we kind of chatted about it and then decided to start making some things happen. I'm like, hey, I'm serious about it. If you actually want to do this, I'll take it. And he was serious. So I got the Gen 1 to a point where I could sell it, just fixing a couple little stupid things on there, a couple leaks. And sold the other car, and then finally got my Gen 2 sold 2 days ago, yesterday. That was yesterday morning. Got it sold. And yeah, went over and picked this thing up. It was July 1st that I picked this car up, so we'll see when this video comes out because I'm still behind on my other project. I'd like to release about a video a week. See where we end up with that. That's when this video will release, or I might release it sooner, we'll see. Things done to the car, I believe, when it's running, it is not running at the moment, I'll get into that in a second. I believe it puts down like 450 to the wheels, or closer to 500, I can't remember. Has full intercooler kit, some other little like tiny odds and ends, a full FP turbo kit. It's an FP green on there. It has raised gram lights on here. I believe they're 57DRs. They're 18 by 9.5, so pretty aggressive fitment, and it looks good on here. It is missing a passenger seat, as you might have seen in my B-roll in the beginning. That is because apparently the welds on the Bride Lomax broke, so he just gave away the seat. But it still has the mounts for it in there, so at least there's that. It saves me like $300. I'm going to be replacing the seats in here as well. I have basically a full list of parts and plans and everything for this thing. I'm not really wanting to change much mechanically on here just because it is literally set up perfectly. And yeah, I don't really have much else I want to do to it. It has AFR gauge and a boost gauge in there. I am going to be adding probably a flex fuel kit to this car. So I will be throwing in another gauge on top of those two for ethanol content. And yeah, just throw that in here somewhere, get it tuned and everything. But I need a full parts list on here. I believe it also has cams in it too. It's been a while since I've heard this thing run. This car has sat, as you could probably tell from the B-roll, for a very long time. It's been sitting since, I think, 2019, maybe 2020. So it's been sitting for a minute. Reason is, apparently the oil pump balance shaft or the balance shaft belt has broken. So I need to get in there and kind of see exactly what's wrong with it. If it's the belt, if it's the shaft, what's wrong there. So that's going to be probably today's test, so I can get parts ordered. I want to get new seats. I need to get new lifters for this thing because he said those were starting to get a little bit noisy, so I'm going to replace those. This car only has, I believe, like he said, 70,000 original miles on it, which is crazy for a 2006, and really just a car like this in general. Most of the Evos either have super low miles or they're like super high, and it's not really finding something that's on the lower end of that, and really I call it low mileage. It's insane, especially for the price. I did pay $16,000 for this car, just for full transparency. And I'll probably be doing a full parts price list and all that once I get all the parts for it and kind of just go from there. It did also come with a brand new Mitsubishi radiator that I have not put in yet. Again, I just picked this thing up yesterday, and it has radiator hoses, but I don't think I'm going to use those, mainly because they're red. I don't like the red hoses. I think they're really tacky, so I'm probably going to throw on black hoses. I need to do OEM, we'll see. Might do Mitsubishi. I don't really see a reason to get the Mitsubishi ones over OEM. Probably just preference. I want to do a restoration on the headlights pretty soon, just to get these guys cleaned up, get a little bit of oxidation out. And then also, the mesh in here, it has all the mesh on the bumper, which is also kind of uncommon for these cars. I want to get that refinished in a nicer black, so this will all look mint, this will look mint, and then yeah, everything else here will just be as perfect as it can. Other than that, this thing really just needs a lot of cleaning. There is that big bit of body damage in the rear quarter panel. I don't know what's going on there. He said that was a previous owner. This is only a 2-owner car, so there is that. But I guess this car also came from Utah, which is weird because my Evo 8, back when I had that one, also came from Utah. Apparently it was like 7,000 miles into its life or something crazy low like that. I think it was 2008 or so. It got bopped in the rear quarter there, and they half-ass fixed it, and it cracked. He said that he knew it was there when he bought it, but he still bought it back in 2017, and it just progressively got worse over time. So we'll see. I'm not really that concerned about it because this is just going to be my daily. If you can imagine, I'm going to be dailying this and my Tacoma. I can't really say I'm that concerned about it just because, you know, it's, if I worry about it being perfect, then I'm not going to want to drive it. And if I just neglect it, then it could fall apart. So, I mean, I'm just going to monitor it and see how bad it gets. If it gets bad enough, then obviously I'll take care of it. But if it's not, then I'll probably leave it for a little bit. I will eventually fix it because I do plan on owning this car for a very long time. Other stupid things that are wrong with it, it does have hail damage, unfortunately. Mainly got it on the hood because it is aluminum, and it got it on the roof a little bit too, so we'll take care of that later. But yeah, outside of that, I don't really want to yap too much on this just because I know it just gets boring just watching someone sit here and talk. So first plans of the day are going to be getting into this thing. I want to get stickers cleared off, and I want to assess exactly what's wrong with this car. Apparently it does still run, it shouldn't be ran because of whatever the issue is with the balance shaft. I don't know if its bearings that went bad, which apparently is possible. The balance shaft could have snapped, which is very unlikely but possible, or it's a belt, which is probably the most likely. So we'll see what it is. I, again, don't know yet. But yeah, I'm going to tear into that. I want to get all the stickers off this thing. I want to just try and bring this thing back to life as much as I can. If this thing looks too bad with all these stickers coming off, because it looks like, you know, there might be, this protected the paint here and the clear, versus back here where it was just all sun damage for all those years. I might end up wrapping this car. And then at that point, I'll probably pick out a different color because the gray is gorgeous, but you can have it any color you want, why not? So yeah, we'll see. I also kind of want to do a JDM rear bumper on it too, just because the USDM one, not my favorite, and I guess it already has the JDM rear bumper exhaust because he bought that with the plans of buying that bumper, and then the balance shaft happened, and he just never did. So at least it saves me $1,000 when I go to do it. Just the cost of the bumper is the biggest thing, and trying to find one in decent shape, and maybe buying an OEM one, maybe not, we'll see. Yeah, let's start diving into this thing, see what's wrong with it, and kind of go from there. So stickers are gone. Adhesive's still there. I'm probably just gonna rinse this thing off with the hose after I get done with my front end project up here. I can't get these stickers off yet, these guys, or the one on the other side, just because I don't really want to leave stuff on the paint unless I have a way of washing it off, and I don't really have like a plastic scraper or anything here to make sure I don't, you know, destroy the paint more than it already could be. So my next thing I want to do, I only have like 30 minutes or so, but I think that should be enough time to kind of tear into the engine a little bit on the timing belt side and see exactly what went wrong with this so I can order parts tonight if possible. I might pop off this wheel on this side too, just that way I have a little bit more access. Just because it's been a while since I've worked on one of these, I don't remember exactly what you have to take off, but it'd be also good just to see what's underneath here. And then tomorrow, if I have time, I want to pop off my manifold and start getting ready to Cerakote that, the O2 housing and the downpipe, and yeah, that's because that's a 5-day cure time on those guys, so it's a decent amount of time. So right now, the project is going to be tearing apart the timing assembly, at least to some extent, and then seeing what we have going on in there. It's now day 2 of Project Evo 9, and got a little bit done yesterday off camera. I washed the back there where I had all the goof off, just that way I wouldn't leave anything on the paint or the glass. I know it wouldn't do anything to the glass, but I don't know what it would do to the paint, especially since a little bit of the paint's kind of compromised back there, so I just went ahead and took care of that. And then I did tear apart the timing assembly to see what's going on with the balance shaft, and not unexpected, but I was being hopeful that it was going to be better news than it is, so kind of get into that in just a second. Today's task, I'm probably gonna end this video after I do this bit of work, but I'm planning on pulling off all the hot side parts for the turbo kit, just so I can get them coated and everything, since it's gonna be a 5-day cure time. I just ordered all the parts that I need to get this thing going again, as far as we know now, and then to also get the valve cover recoated, or like the gaskets and whatnot. So, I mean, we've got some stuff coming in, but it's gonna be a waiting game now. It's always painful if you work on cars, for real, you know. So yeah, let's get into what's going on at the timing assembly. So I pulled off the cover yesterday, which was on camera. Everything looks good here. Apparently this is a newer belt. It's put on like, I think it has like 10, 15,000 miles on it, so that's good. But when we come down here, you can see the tensioner for the balance shaft is here. And then it's right here. So the belt and everything's intact here. But if you take this guy and you spin it, now it's getting bound up on the belt again. Pretty much what I did, just kind of spun it here like that. And it does spin, so it is not the belt, and it's not completely seized, at least on this end. So what it looks more like is the balance shaft further in here is just snapped in half, possibly seized back there. So it's gonna be a little bit more work than I was hoping for, but it's all right. So this is gonna be the other part of today's task, which is gonna be this manifold right here. I wanna go ahead and pull this guy off. Drop the turbo down a little bit. Kind of just leave it there on the coolant lines and the oil lines. I think it says coolant lines. Yeah. Just let it kind of hang there on all the lines and everything. And then I wanna take off this O2 housing down here. Once I take the O2 housing off and this guy off, I wanna actually use my sandblaster for the very first time. I've never used that one before. And get these guys blasted, get them all fresh, and then I want to hit them with Cerakote either today or tomorrow, just because it's going to be a 5-day cure time on those, and I want to get that going as soon as I can. Other than that though, I don't know of anything else I'm really going to Cerakote here. Maybe this fan. That's as far as engine stuff goes. However, since this is air dry, I'm thinking I'm going to redo the mesh. Because all the mesh, you can especially see right here, it's over there, a little bit darker that way, but that needs to get redone. The side pieces need to get redone. The grill there needs to get redone, and the hood, all that needs to be refreshed. So I think doing it in Cerakote will be the best result for that. I did go ahead and order some new hoses for this guy too. I just ordered OEM ones just because I don't really feel the need to have the silicone ones for this. And I'm gonna be tossing on the new radiator at the same time that I do these. I might drain that today too, just that way it's kind of out and it's done. And yeah, after that I wanna try and tear into the interior and kind of wanna get all of this cleaned up in here, just because it's a mess and I prefer just have it clean. That's one less thing to worry about later. So I'm gonna toss the camera on the tripod and start pulling off the manifold. just want to say a huge thank you to all those that have watched so far. I have more videos coming for the Evo 9, and just, trying to pick up the camera here and there. I constantly forget just because I'm so used to just tearing into things and, making progress as fast as I can, so it's a thing. But I appreciate you watching. More to come soon. I got to actually rip into the engine more to get the balance shafts out, but I was kind of waiting until I got until these are on the way. And then also I got some powder coating to do as well. I just need to borrow a powder coating gun again, but this thing's gonna look crazy when it's done. I'm super excited. At some point we're gonna learn how to paint too. At least I'm gonna learn, how to do clear coat on the roof and the wing just because they're so bad. But yeah, just want to say thank you for watching, and I'm gonna pick this up here pretty soon once I, get a couple more things on the way.